How does it feel to have a YouTube video that has 200 million plus views?
It's well, angry because those views are probably not on my YouTube link. It's weird because it's an old video, but it still gets likes. I think that number 200 million doesn't. It's weird. That's a lot of views. I still am dumbfounded that it went anywhere. I don't know. That's too many.
For anybody who doesn't know what we're referencing, here's a short clip just to jog your memory.
And so I cry sometimes when I'm lying in bed just to get it all out what's in my head. And
I think it's one of those things that I made for the internet and a small corner of the internet at a very specific time. You know, it's like it was early 2000s, and I think it was like 6 months before YouTube was even a thing. And we just wanted to make a very small corner of the internet laugh. Somebody else put it out on YouTube before we did, and I think that's where most of the views are from. But it's the internet, and you know, E-Bombs World stole it. You know,
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, a rite of passage.
If you haven't seen that, guys, it's easy to check out. You just probably search He-Man on YouTube, and that's one of the first.
He-Man probably will do it. He-Man Sings will get it for you immediately. Fabulous Secret Powers is what it's actually called. Which will get you to the Slack Circus link, which is run by Jay Allen, who's the guy who did all the singing and stuff.
Speed round, ETH or Tez?
Oh, shit, Tez.
Additions or one-of-ones?
Additions.
What is your go-to music when you're creating?
Something like hip-hop in the vein of like Death Grips, early, well, maybe mid to late 80s punk. I'll also throw like Philip Glass, like piano music on.
Who do you want to do a collab with next?
Oh man, when are we gonna do something?
Let's do it, man. I'm ready.
I mean, I figured that like that was like I figured at some point like I need to do like we need to figure out what we're gonna do. I mean, I'm surrounded by all this talent, but like you brought me in, so like I think we need to do something together.
Man, I'm always down for sure. Tell me, what's an NFT that you'll never sell?
Oh man. 300 hodlers for sure. And let's proceed.
That is definitely one though that I'll probably never. Although I have 3 of them. I bought 3 because I knew I'd want to keep one, and it was a gift to like his top 300 holders, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a pretty good feeling to get dropped something like that.
Everything I've pulled up that I've bought today, we can go across here to do like a who's who. Let's see, Mighty Moss's. Paulison, he's a Brazilian photographer that I really like. He does a lot of drag, shutter, like long exposure stuff, like urban photography. I really like his stuff. This would look familiar. Of course, pretty much if there's a La Creme piece that was out and available for sale, I've probably picked it up today.
There's so much good art coming in that chat, and it's I don't have enough money to get it all. I'm supposed to be like taking money out right now, and all I do is just keep buying, and like that's only 2 Tez, it's 3 Tez, it's like $2, $3.
So I have a rule set for myself, right? Especially when I'm making and I'm selling pieces, that I'm just like, I'm not supposed to buy anything until I reach a certain threshold, and then I move that threshold to my ledger. You know, I try to do that fairly regularly. I have a threshold, and I'll move that money over. But being in that chat's dangerous. So like it might be a sale I saw 5 or 6 Tez from at the most, but I also think it's cool to make money for other people on my work. There's a point of pride in that. You know, it's cool to know that somebody else wanted something bad enough.
Even if it's just 10 Tezos, like it's still a secondary purchase. It feels good. You're like, oh, sick, somebody's collecting my stuff.
Oh yeah, Xerox did that. Like it was actually during the vending event. Like he didn't spend the Tez to vend, like particularly he probably did, but he didn't get my piece. He went out and bought it on secondary for 5, like while the event was still happening. And I was like, that's also pretty cool too.
Yeah,
like somebody's
cool.
Just like, hey, the piece is listed. I know I want it. I'm not going to take my chances. I'll pay 5 Tez for it.
That's the thing about Tez is it's always so affordable. You're like, it's good and bad. It's the gift and the curse, right? Because I can pick up a ton of art, but it's hard to stop spending because it is just a little bit more. With ETH, it's like $200 and 15 in gas prices, it's easy to say no for that a lot of times.
Right. But like, I think having a knowledge base around that, understanding it, or being able to implement it, it's like I'm always learning new trades. Like that's why I do a million different styles of things. Usually, it's just like I like to jump to that next thing. My brain's always like, I got to learn that. I need to learn enough to be dangerous. I need to learn enough to break some things. It's like break it and fix it, and it'll be something. If not that, it'll be at least be interesting on the other end. It's a really new world. So like knowing anything, you probably know, you can know more than 80% of the people out there.
Yeah, I think if you're here now in the space, especially after what's just gone on, if you haven't quit right now, then you're probably got the right mindset and you're going to make it through it. And hopefully we build through this and we kind of find the right connections that we need to come out on top of this on the other side. And another thing is to, even if you are still here, to make sure that you're not just static, like you're being proactive and you're building and you're trying to at least network and make connections and build a body of work or a collection. Yeah, Manifold's fun. You can really play around with it. The one thing that I am trying to do, that we were talking about earlier, is figure out the Solidity code. There's 2 GitHub plugins that you can put in there to do burn mechanics and all those things, but I'm
and I need to look into that documentation too, because I want to be able to do things like, this is the first time in a long time I have like an idea. I've already got the pieces for the most part. I'm doing a lot of curation for it, but when I got into the NFT scene, and I'm still seen as like an AI artist, right? Which is not something I dislike. I like it because it's like, that's how I got noticed, I guess. And it's still something I use primarily in everything I make. If you're going to dive into like making NFTs and be in the world of, digital tokens, dynamic NFTs, like dynamic, if you want to give people, like, to me, that's where utility is, like as an artist, is like you can associate utility with it, but the fact that you can change the art and the metadata after the fact and do fun things like that, or have things that grow. And then right now, everybody else is going, hey, so I know I might have to be looking at other places to reside again, at least temporarily. So it's like, I don't know. I'm just going to keep my head down and watch the world burn around me and keep doing what I'm doing.
Yeah, I really appreciate your time. Anything else you got before we go? You want to plug some of your new stuff?
I've got a few pieces on Tezos right now. I've got a Rip Hen piece up currently. A couple other small gifts right now. I've had my head down in like real life work for a little bit. So like I've got plans for things and I've got things in the midst, but I've got to figure out what I want to do with it. I have a really cool, I was talking about it earlier, this generative piece that it's essentially a self-portraitive generative piece that I think actually will have wide appeal, because it won't just be my face like that the whole time, which is usually a lot of my stuff. But I've got a really neat thing that I'm excited to share soon.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to do a collab, man. Let's get it going.
Sounds good.
Have a good day, man. Appreciate your time.
You too. Thanks for having me.